God says, do not be a man who strikes hands in pledge or puts up security for debts. Don't sign into agreements routinely. Don't do it. Limit your obligations. Don't let credit agreements become habitual. You're not going to win. It is not designed for you to win.
The world says I can't be overdrawn. I still have checks.
Anyone manage your checkbook that way?
Maybe if I ignore that late notice, it will just go away. Or at least for the time being, right? It would at least buy you, worst case scenario, it's going to buy you 6 days. 3 days for them to figure out that you didn't open it, and another 3 days for them to get it back in the mail and have it delivered to your house. So at least 6 days.
Remember back in the Old Testament, mostly we had herders and farmers, and so that was the way that was their livelihood. And what was God telling them? Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. In other words, pay attention to your business. Okay? And our finances are our personal business. Our families run like a business. Pay attention to what's going on. Manage your money as if caring for tender sheep. Be informed and be protected. Know what's going on. I'm not going to open that because it's just another bill. It's not going to go away. It's tempting though, isn't it? I make a worry.
Red ones are bad? The world says, it's my life. Nobody is going to tell me how I'm going to live.
That's right. Easy Rider. Remember that movie? They're on their hogs and they're out there riding and they're free. And, no one's going to tell me how to live my life. Man, that was an American icon, that movie. Right? Was it Dennis Hopper and who was the Fonda? Was it Peter Fonda? Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, didn't that embody the American dream? No one's going to tell me how to live my life. I'm free. I can do what I want.
A lot of these people don't know about that movie. So
Okay. I'm sorry.
We're old.
So when we mention it,
I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm with you, brother. Hey, you got Wild Hogs. That's a newer
Wild Hogs,
version.
yeah.
There you go.
Wild
What does
Hogs,
God
came
say?
out.
Of what use is money in the hand of a fool, since he has no desire to get wisdom? Right? A fool and his money are soon parted. What good is it to have money if you're a fool? I think God's going to continue to bless you if you're not wisely managing the resources he's already given you.
I think he's going to take it away.
He's done that to a lot of people. Be humble. Be willing to receive instruction. If we go through life with the attitude that we know it all, and I'm going to do it my way, and I'm the drug that is Charlie Sheen, and I'm doing 7 Rock Hardballs, or whatever, I don't even know this guy. Yeah, that's going to get you real far, isn't it? I probably just really, butchered that.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
There's an example out there. This goes back a couple years. I don't remember exactly how it went. I may need my brother's help with this. But if you took the wealth of the world and you evenly distributed it on everybody in the world, within, was it 6 months?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I believe it was within 6 months it would be back where it originally was taken from. The people that have money have money for a reason. The people that don't, it doesn't matter. If you give it to them, they're going to find a way to get rid of it.
Absolutely. And incidentally, I don't mean to make fun of Charlie Sheen's situation. We do need to pray for the man, and let's pray that God would intervene and make a real difference in his life. So, Lord, forgive me for that.
The world says, if it gets too bad, I'll just declare bankruptcy. If I don't get it paid off by the time I die, then it's someone else's problem.
It's true, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be someone else's problem. But Proverbs tells us, my son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, if you have struck hands in pledge for another, Free yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the snare of the fowler. How fast does a gazelle have to run to get away from the hunter? Pretty fast, right? So God's not saying just mosey on away from death. He's saying run. Run. Run from it.
It's your life we're talking about.
Yeah. Don't casually pay down your debt. I mean, what were we doing? I told you our story. Money's rolling in, and so, we look at the credit card statement, minimum payment due. That's casual, isn't it? Well, guess what? When you suddenly lose over half of your income, it's not casual anymore. It's painful. Don't casually pay down debt. Run for your life.
The world says, live for today. There may not be a tomorrow. If it feels good, just do it.
What happens in Vegas?
I think that's the teenager's American dream too.
Yep. Yep. They've gotten a heavy dose of that, haven't they? A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. At the beginning, Kevin mentioned about doing something with your money for other people. What about being an example for your kids on how to manage money wisely and changing future generations? None of us can do everything, but each of us can do something. And so we have a responsibility to teach our kids how to manage money. Be an agent of change in your own family. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. I'll go back to our story and what's happening with us. And when you have a loss of income, when the economy goes sour and you lose clients and you lose business and you're scrambling, one of the things we did is we cut back, and you'll see more on this after Deb shares some things with you. We cut back severely on what we were spending because we had to. There's one thing we didn't cut back on, and those were our obligations to lenders. Couldn't cut back on how much I was paying for the car. Couldn't cut back on how much we were paying for the mortgage unless we wanted to refinance and pay all that money just for the pleasure of doing that. And we couldn't call the credit card company and say, you know what, man, business is really hard. We've lost clients, we've lost income, things aren't going well. Would it be okay if we cut our credit card payment in half? What are they going to say? No. That's when you know, that's when you know you're in bondage. That's when you know you're in slavery, because they got you, right? Like a dog on a tether, as long as he can run and he's got line left, he might think he's free. But man, when he gets to the end of that and it snaps and his legs go flying out from under him and he's caught by the neck, he knows, doesn't he? Well, let me tell you, I know how that feels. And dads, my son said to me several times, Dad, why do you always look like you're mad? Why do you always look like, what's wrong? I mean, I get up in the morning thinking, hey, it's going to be a good day. And my son says, Dad, what's wrong?
Why are you kicking the dog?
Was it that obvious? Apparently it was. We're robbed of our joy. Does God want us living that type of life? Absolutely not. How many dads are getting up in the morning with the weight of the world on their shoulders? How am I going to do this? How am I going to provide? How many wives and moms are just secretly dying inside, walking on pins and needles, not wanting to say anything that's going to upset their husband, and saying, Dear God, how are we going to make it this month? Because ladies, security is a big thing to you, isn't it? That's one of your primary motivations is security. For guys, it's opportunity, right? Hey, let's go out and do something. But for women, it's security. And when you've got credit that is casting this big shadow over you, it's hard to feel secure. So Lori and I know what it's like to feel like that. And if you do, our message today is that there's hope. You can break free from this. And we're going to show you how to do that. And it starts with how we spend our money. So, I'll turn it over to you and introduce